In 2008, the disappearance of a little girl captured America's attention and shattered its innocence. A 2-year-old child gone without a trace, a mother whose behavior baffled investigators, and a trial that would become one of the most watched in history. This is the haunting story of Caylee Anthony. Caylee Marie Anthony was born on August 9, 2005, in Orlando, Florida. She was the daughter of Casey Anthony, then just 19 years old. Casey lived at home with her parents, George and Cindy Anthony, who often shouldered much of the responsibility for raising Caylee. By all accounts, Caylee was a vibrant, happy toddler with a contagious smile. She was adored by her grandparents, who often played a primary parental role. But beneath this loving exterior, tensions in the household ran deep. Casey, Caylee's young mother, was known for her free-spirited and often irresponsible behavior. She lied about her jobs, invented stories about her whereabouts, and repeatedly clashed with her parents. To many, Casey appeared more interested in parties, friends, and freedom than in raising her child. And yet, nobody could have foreseen the darkness that would soon unfold. On July 15, 2008, Cindy Anthony made a frantic 911 call. She hadn't seen her granddaughter Caylee in over a month. Even more disturbing, her daughter Casey had given conflicting explanations about Caylee's whereabouts. In one of the most chilling lines in true crime history, Cindy told the operator, "It smells like there's been a dead body in the damn car." Police arrived quickly, and the investigation began. When questioned, Casey Anthony claimed that Caylee was with a babysitter named Zenaida "Zani" Fernandez Gonzalez. She insisted that Caylee was safe, but that Zani had mysteriously disappeared with her. But as investigators dug deeper, the cracks in Casey's story widened. There was no evidence that this babysitter existed. Casey had been photographed at clubs and parties during the month her daughter was supposedly missing. She invented jobs and locations to explain her absence, even claiming she worked at Universal Studios. A lie that quickly unraveled when police escorted her to the park, where she admitted she didn't actually work. Perhaps the most disturbing discovery came when investigators examined Casey's car. The trunk contained suspicious stains and a strong odor consistent with human decomposition. Traces of chloroform and evidence of decomposition were later found. Yet Caylee was still missing. The search for Caylee. 4 months, law enforcement, volunteers, and the Anthony family searched desperately. The case quickly gained national attention. News outlets covered every development, and the public followed with horror and outrage. Casey's behavior remained erratic. She appeared detached, more concerned with her own life than with her missing child. She even got a tattoo that read Bella Vita, Italian for beautiful life, during the very weeks Caylee was unaccounted for. But the search continued, with hopes that Caylee might somehow still be alive. On December 11, 2008, the heartbreaking search ended. A utility worker stumbled upon a small bag in a wooded area less than half a mile from the Anthony home. Inside were the skeletal remains of a child. A forensic examination confirmed the worst. The remains belonged to Caylee Anthony. The manner of death could not be definitively determined, but duct tape was found on the skull, an ominous detail that pointed toward foul play. The nation mourned, and outrage toward Casey intensified. In May 2011, Casey Anthony's trial began. It was dubbed the trial of the century, broadcast live and watched by millions. The prosecution argued that Casey killed Caylee, using chloroform and suffocating her with duct tape, because she wanted her freedom back. They presented evidence of internet searches on the Anthony family computer for terms like chloroform and neck breaking. The defense, however, painted a very different picture. They claimed Caylee had drowned accidentally in the family's swimming pool, and that Casey's father, George Anthony, helped cover it up. They suggested that Casey's lies were simply the product of a dysfunctional upbringing and years of trauma. Witness after witness took the stand. Forensic experts testified about decomposition in Casey's trunk. Friends described Casey's partying lifestyle. But despite the mounting suspicion, the evidence was largely circumstantial. On July 5, 2011, the jury delivered its stunning verdict: not guilty of murder, manslaughter, and child abuse. Casey Anthony was convicted only of providing false information to law enforcement. The courtroom gasped. Across America, outrage erupted. How could a young mother walk free when her child's death remained unsolved? The case divided the nation, some blaming the prosecution for failing to prove its case beyond reasonable doubt, others convinced that justice had been denied for Kaylee. Casey Anthony was released shortly after the trial. She disappeared from the public eye, though occasional interviews and reports would resurface in the years that followed. The Anthony family was left broken. George and Cindy Anthony struggled publicly with grief, denial, and anger, caught between the loss of their granddaughter and the reality of their daughter's actions. As for Kaylee Anthony, her short life became a symbol. Many Americans saw in her story a failure of justice, a reminder of how fragile and vulnerable children can be, and how systems meant to protect them can fall short. Her case sparked countless debates about media sensationalism, parental responsibility, and the flaws within the justice system. To this day, Kaylee's memory haunts the true crime world. Kaylee Anthony never got to grow up to laugh at schoolyard jokes, or to celebrate another Christmas. Instead, her story became one of tragedy, deception, and unanswered questions. And perhaps the greatest horror of all is that to this day, the truth about what really happened may never be known. If you found this story compelling, remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another deep dive into the most haunting true crime cases. This was the tragic story of Kaylee Anthony. Thank you for watching and stay safe.